Hey YouTube, Always Post 1975 Genesis collection. It's funny, I was generally quite surprised that so many people, that's very early for a stutter in one of my videos by me, so many people wanted to see me finish off everything I own. It's funny because I got a lot more of these stragglers than I thought I had, so I'm going to divide it into two videos. This is going to be everything I have for the Genesis, and then there'll be one more video which will be the remainder for the Megadrive, and that's a real mixed bag because we've got PAL games, we got a Japanese game, and we got some Asian games. But there's going to be a lot less sort of nostalgia involved with this because all these Genesis games I've amassed as an adult. Oh, I say amassed. There is one really interesting factor in this. Every single one of these, bar one, has been donated to me by a fellow YouTuber, and right off the bat I do actually have to say that I've been making videos for 3 weeks, and one of them was about I couldn't get my Megadrive to work. Turns out I needed a step-down converter or something, which I didn't know at the time. And so I posted a video up, and this guy, Spin the Demon, I put a link to his channel, Doohickey, really nice bloke. He's kind of on hiatus, but definitely go and check out his channel. Anyway, he sent me a PM out of the blue. I mean, this amazed me. I didn't know about, I was only just finding out about this community. I didn't know that people would do such generous things. And he said, do you want a Genesis? And I was like, oh no, it's alright, mate, I'll get my Megadrive working. And he goes, look, I got a spare one, it's not good enough for me to sell, just sat in storage. And I was like, if you're sure. And he sent me a Model 2 Genesis, and it's the Genesis I used to play Genesis games. Walked into that one, because obviously some will work on Megadrive, but then the region lockout thing kicked in like what, night 2, night 3, night 4, I can't remember. I think it was a while before they introduced it. And so he sent me this amazing package. He sent a bunch of loose games, a bunch of box games, some Three Musketeers. I don't know if you can see it, but the Pac-Man energy drink over there, which is full, by the way. I can't bring myself to drink it, just display it. I'm amazed it didn't go off in the mail somewhere above the Atlantic. Yeah, so he sent me, like I said, I just couldn't get over the generosity of this person. Let's start with the loose cards first. He sent me, and this is funny because we were talking through PMs, and I mentioned it in a few videos, and he knew that I was a massive fan of Street Fighter 2, so he sent me Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition, which, I don't know how good the light is in it, is a very good, solid port. We'll get to that later on because I do have another occurrence of it, if you will. And he sent me Thunder Force 2 on the Genesis, of course, on the Genesis. Side note, why is it called the Genesis in North America? What existed prior to this in North America that already bagged the name Megadrive? Maybe I'm the only person who doesn't know. Oh, new one, Top. This I had played before. That kid I talk about at school, he always tries to, have more games than you, because he had more money than brains. He had a copy of this, excuse me, so I did play it on the Japanese Megadrive. It is what it is. People like slate it now, but it's a very early shooter, on the Megadrive. Thunder Force series is absolutely fantastic, especially 3 and 4, but they did depart from this because this has top-down stages and costs absolutely nothing. If you can get your hands on it, I do really recommend it. And he also sent me a 6-pack. Obviously, most of these games, when they released this, because we had something similar over here, didn't we, like Mega Game Collections, we're knocking on a bit in years, but at the same time, you ain't going to knock it, are you? They're all quality games, 6 games on one cart: Sonic the Hedgehog, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Revenge of Shinobi, Columns, and Super Hang-On. What is really cool about this is it will actually play on my Japanese Megadrive because it is prior lockout. So when I play this on my Japanese Megadrive, I get to play Bare Knuckle instead of Streets of Rage, and I get to play Super Shinobi instead of Revenge of Shinobi, and that's cool because obviously there are some cosmetic differences. That's the loose games he sent me. Now this is where it gets really cool. You got to remember, like, look, what about this for a package? He sent me Flashback: The Quest for Identity. I had played this on my brother's Amiga at the time. I think it had a different title, as did the PAL version of this. This was a big deal back in the day when it came outside, because didn't they? Well, I remember in all the magazines at the time they advertised it as the first CD-ROM game on a cartridge, because the idea was, it had loads of cutscenes. They are brilliant little cutscenes. It's a 12 meg cartridge, so it's quite impressive. And they're like little cartoons, animated cutscenes, really nice looking. Game is graphically fantastic, and the animation is absolute top bollocks. It's hard, mind. It's very hard. I've only ever made it about halfway through before it spanks my ass sideways. Oh, then he sent me NBA Jam Tournament Edition. I'd played this in the arcades back in the day, and I played it on my brother's SNES. And I loved it for what it was, because basically it took, They took a sport and they just made a super polished arcade version of it. It was so fast and so much fun just to play, you know, one-on-one with your mates. And aren't there a bunch of hidden characters? Can't you play Bill Clinton in this? But yeah, just constantly trying to get to shatter the backboard, you know. Adore that game. Ooh, another sports game. He sent me NHL 97. As you know, I absolutely love hockey. Back in the day, I had played the original on a friend's Megadrive, the original entry in the what created the franchise by EA, and it's probably my favourite, you know, hockey game franchise ever, and it's one that I think never benefited from better or superior consoles. I think its best sort of representation is on the Megadrive and on the SNES, but this is an absolutely amazing game. It just feels so like smooth and free, and it's weird to explain because at the time I'd only ever played up like football games and stuff like that, and this really does feel like you're gliding on ice. That's a horribly cliched statement I just made, I know, but that really does feel, you know, what it's like to me. And to this day, as I said, it's been unmatched by any other sort of, even its own, you know, new entries in the franchise on modern consoles. This is an absolutely amazing one. Oh, I love this game. I have no idea why there's a sticker on the front though that says 430 Hong Kong dollars. Super Street Fighter 2. I mean, again, because he knew I absolutely loved and adored Street Fighter, and this is my favourite entry into the series to this day, even though you don't have the bars at the top to charge up on because that was in the next revision. But I absolutely love and adore this game, and for a Mega Drive game, what is it, 40 meg? It's a big cartridge. 40 megs, yeah. It's so impressive. It's absolutely fantastic, and I do have a story about this because while I didn't have this back in the day, I shared a house with a guy who had an English Mega Drive, and he had a copy of this game and 2 6-button pads, and we became so obsessed with this game that every major decision in the house, and most minor ones that had to be taken, were determined by this game. Like literally, who's cooking, you know, tea tonight? Best 2 out of 3 on Street Fighter. Whose turn is it to do laundry? Best 2 out of 3 on Street Fighter. Next cup of tea? Best 2 out of 3 on Street Fighter. Even stuff like, I can fill a draft, go over there and check the window. Best 2 out of 3 on Street Fighter. Needless to say, most decisions in that house took forever to get resolved, but we both became pretty fucking spanky. It's Street Fighter. Now this leads into another one. Another really cool YouTuber called Cuda Hunter, a couple of years ago, just sent me a PM out of the blue. He said he knows that I like Street Fighter, and he said he had a spare copy of Super Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition boxed. What's cool about this game and what I want to talk about was I remember it was such a big deal at the time because everyone said the Mega Drive, because obviously it was an exclusive on the SNES and the Super Famicom, and was like, no, Mega Drive will never be able to pull this off. And this is actually faster than the equivalent Super Nintendo, you know, version, and it's a very good, brilliant, solid port. And it was brilliant because I don't know, I suffered from that stigma. I kept thinking they'll never be able to pull this off on the Mega Drive, and they did. And then they did the new challenges afterwards, which is even better. Now, the next 3 are loose, and they're all sports games technically. Well, technically they are, but one's a fishing, but that's a sport, I guess, because it says tournament on the front. These came from another YouTuber who he sent me a bunch of comics. I kind of did a trade with him, and he sent me a bunch of comics and beer mats. I collect beer mats from around the world. And he was downplayed. He said, I only found some sports titles, but they're all really enjoyable titles. TNN Outdoors Bass Tournament 96. I mean, I actually quite enjoy fishing games. Top. They are what they are, you know. They're something different. I mean, if you haven't got patience, don't fish, and we'll play a fishing game. I find them just generally quite relaxing, tranquil, and a little bit different. Now, the other one he sent me was Tommy Lasorda Baseball. It's actually quite an impressive looking game, and it's a very enjoyable game. It's my only baseball game. Actually, no, I've got Bigs 2 on the Wii, but it's my only sort of, you know, old school baseball game. I like it, you know. I could play it, you know, a few times for a couple of hours each time, and I've played it with my mates, and we all have a bit of fun with it. Doesn't it mean we look like a fat Bill Clinton? Or Bill Clinton now. Yeah, and it's funny because it's not really its fault for the reasons I don't like it, and that would be it's just not cricket. See what I did there? Then he sent me Troy Aikman Football. American football, that is. This is a really good, solid American football game. Graphically, it's, you know, it's pretty nice. I think it came out on the Jaguar. Jaguar. Shame on you, Dave. Came out on the Jaguar as well. Obviously, it was a superior looking version, but the music's pretty much the same. But yeah, it's a decent enough American football game. But my problem with this is it feels like a mistress. It feels like I'm cheating on Madden. That sounded really, really wrong. You know what I mean. Madden was the game that taught me the rules of American football, and for that reason alone, it'll forever have a place in my heart. So when I play this, I just kind of think this feels a little wrong. I should be playing Madden now. Oh, this is it. Last game. This is actually a game I bought. Are you ready? It's Rastan Saga 2 on the Genesis. Funny thing is, right, when I bought this off eBay, it was advertised as a boxed Japanese copy of Rastan Saga 2. I mean, thing is, I got my money back and I sent the game back and then they sent it back. But how do you think you would get away with something like that? I mean, seriously. So it's kind of an oddity in the sense that I have it, I never play it because I've got the Japanese version. But there you go. That's my Genesis collection. A kind of really mixed random bag, but that's basically, as I said, pretty much because I've just acquired them thanks to the generosity of other people on YouTube. You know, as a side process of collecting for my Megadrive and making videos. So, you know, as I said before, the generosity of this community is amazing. So there will be one more video, and that will be the stragglers on the Megadrive. And as always, I'm you know, I can't believe that these series of videos have received such, you know, positive feedback. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.